Starting Be'ez Hashem Simon Nun Tes and haGuela. Ukvar pirashti maimer hamedrash Rabbah, the Parshas Vayetze. Al apostic Vayomer lohem Yaakov achai me'ayin atem. The story was Yaakov came to Lavan's house and he saw the shepherds with the sheep, and he said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" And they said, "We're from Haran." And he said, "Do you know Lavan?" And they said, "Yeah, we know him." And he said, "Is he doing okay? Shalom, Shalom loy." And they said, "Yeah, he's Shalom. V'hinei Rachel bitoy ba'im atzayin." Story with Yaakov meeting Rachel. So the Medrash says like this: Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya or Rabbi Yossi bar Chanina, Pastor Kroi begalus. He explains these psukim relating to the galus. Vayoimru mecharan anachnu. That these are the Yidden and Galus that Yaakov encountered. Yaakov said to them, "Where are you from?" They said, "Mecharoinoi shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu anu borchim." We're running away from the anger of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Vayomer lohem, and he said to them, "Hayidatem es Lavan ben Nachor." Do you know Lavan, the son of Nachor? So the Medrash explains, "Hayidatem es mi shehu asid lelabein avonosayim shel Yisrael." Do you know the one, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is going to be mitayr and clean the Jewish people of their aveiros? Vayomer Yodanu. They said, "Yes, we know him." Vayomer lohem hashalom loy. He asked them, "Does he have peace?" Vayomer shalom be'ezes. So the question is, be'ezes chus. Well, they said shalom. We know Hashem. So he said be'ezes chus. And what chus will we get out of Galus? Maybe, right? V'hinei Rachel bitoy ba'im atzayin. The tzarich bir. So this is like a Hasidic pshat. It's like they took the whole story in the Torah and used it for something totally different. The Eich Darshu is not the derech of Chazal to do this, right? The Eich Darshu libun avonos, and not only that, but we're taking something and using it the opposite, right? Lavan was bad, right? And we're using Lavan to mean cleaning of sin. So you're kind of like turning it on its head. Something that only Hashem could do. Something that's His mercy on us. How could they put this good midah into a bad person like Lavan? A pasuk can't go out of its simple meaning. Here Chazal took the pasuk completely out of context. Right? Okay? So that's the Rebbe's question. So he says, no, we could explain the pshat and the drash in in a similar way. They do have to do with each other. In order to be zoicha, to have a kapara from your aveiros, tzarich sheyukdam eleha hatshuva amitis u'ula. You first have to do repentance. The cost of b'sefer hakadosh medrash Pinchas, me'arav hakadosh Reb Pinchas mikaretz, the Talmud of the Baal Shem Tov, Reb Pinchas Karetzer. He says the kol oid sheyesh ba'adam hamida shel shakranas. As long as the person has falsehood in him, lo yoel tshuvasai. He won't be able to do tshuva even on other sins. The kivan shenis ragel b'midazu, since he became used to this midah of sheker, b'vaday gam tshuvasei eino amitis. He's a liar. He lies all the time. So when he davens and he does tshuva, he's going to lie to Hashem too. His tshuva won't be perfect. Ayin sham dvarav. Ulefizeh. Now we understand the Chazal. A person can't do complete tshuva. He has to have the ability to distinguish. He has to know what the way of falsehood and the way of trickery is, in order to stay far from it. He has to know what's the proper way, what's the way, the light path, the good path. For who derech emes asher yidbak v'yelech, the real path that he should cling to. But if someone doesn't know how to distinguish, He doesn't know the path of falsehood. He doesn't know how to separate himself. A person who's blind and he can't see what's right and wrong, and he thinks that the falsehood is the truth. So a person like that can't do tshuva. So now let's go back to the story. Yaakov said, do you know Lavan, the son of Nachor? Do you know the one who's going to purify the sins of the Jewish people? How is Lavan purifying the sins? Lavan is bad, right? The answer is, Lavan was someone who was the source of falsehood in the world. Nikra Arami. That's why he was even called Arami. Arami is named the place he came from, but it also means Shayasharish Kol HaAramos. He was the source of all dishonesty. Hadrash v'apshat isachtu v'kana echad olam. Now the medrash of Chazal together with the pshat work together. The ef shel zakos or liskos. Actually, we can't be zoichet lelibun avonos, to the purification of the sin, to the tshuva haGuela and good repentance. V'roi zulasi, unless im yoydim and makirim b'darchei Lavan, unless we know the ways of Lavan. But tzarich koyach avchana, you have to have the ability to distinguish lahakir b'midas hasheker, to know what's false. Afim hu melubash b'tzura uvedimion shel emes, even if it's like Zionism and religious Zionism, it's wrapped up in the tzura of emes, but you have to be able to distinguish and realize that it's false. That's also the tactic of Lavan, to dress up the falsehood in different disguises. You have to know Lavan in order to be able to overcome him. In order to be able to be careful of him. Ubir hamedrash lahalan. So now we can explain the medrash. Vayoimru yodanu. So Yaakov asked the Jews, do you know Lavan? Do you know how to distinguish sheker from emes? So they said, yes, we know. Vayoimru yodanu. Vayoimru lahem hashalom loy. Then he said, is it peace for him? What does that mean? So this is the second question. So shehem yeshivu loy vayoimru yodanu. He said, we know shemakir moisav yesdrachav. We know how bad Lavan is. V'hinei shal loy vayoimru hashalom loy. The Av Shemaila Gedola, he says, good, it's a Maila, you understand, Shemakirim B'darchi Lavan. Avolim Oisim Shalom Imoy, but if you do peace with him, in other words, you have a good relationship, you work together with Lavan, Zer Ra'u Mar Mo'ed, then it's bad, then it's very bitter. So this is obviously a parable to what we're talking about today, right? You have people who are religious groups, the haGuela, whatever, they recognize who Zionism is, right? They know it's bad, but they work together with it. So the Rebbe is saying, yeah, we asked the Jews, first question is, do you know Lavan? Yeah, we know Lavan. Do you work together with him? Oh, so on that, they couldn't answer back. He says, Vayoimru Shalom, they said, yeah, we have peace with him. We're not on the Madrega to completely separate from Lavan. We still have peace with Lavan. So the Medrash asked now, in what schus how could we be saved from this Lavan, right? If we work together with him. And the teretz to that is because Rachel, his daughter, is coming with the sheep. How does that have to do with this? They knew that Yaakov was the predestined match for Rachel. It was a common saying at the time. Everyone was saying, Shnei Banim the Rivka has two sons, and Shnei Banim Lavan has two daughters. haGuela l'Gedola, right? The older son will marry the older daughter. Esau will marry Leah, v'Yakatan l'Ktana, and the younger son Yaakov will marry Rachel. So Yaakov and Rachel were predestined. Yaakov Avinu midas emes, and since he's coming with the midah of emes, Kamasha Amru Titain emes liYaakov, it says in the pasuk emes liYaakov, right? For who yilchaim negdai, so he's the one who's going to defeat Lavan. V'yashpil koichaisav, So today also, if we can be zoicha to cling to the ways of Yaakov, we won't have any peace with Lavan. We'll completely stay away from him. Now the Medrash fits in with the actual story in the pasuk. So back to the subject of Zionism, when it comes to doing tshuva, we have to do a lot of introspection. We have to think carefully. If make sure that the tshuva doesn't have anything that's false in it. The oz ain't tshuva moyel klum, because if it has sheker in it, then it won't help at all. Because savnu kol zel ha'ara bi'alma. I'm writing this only for for information purposes. Ki ein sarach kol elu harayis linyanenu. For our purposes, we don't really need that. Bar shaloi hayi b'tshuvasin shum mamashis. The tshuva that we see after the 6-day war is not real tshuva. It's just something that blinds the eye. And I mentioned before that this is all written in 67. After that time, throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, there was a big movement of Baalei Tshuva. And these Baalei Tshuva had nothing to do with Zionism. The Rebbe is not talking about those people. The people who came to Eretz Yisrael seeking something spiritual, and they stood by the Kaisel, and they went and they heard Shiurim, and eventually became frum. These people have nothing to do with
Zionism. The Kaisel is Zionism.
Well, but the Kaisel is not Zionism. The Kaisel is the Kaisel. Just the Zionists, they made a big deal out of it. But these people didn't come because of that. They came because they were seeking...
So what's the reason why the Satmar Rebbe said don't